Yep, y'all, it was confirmed that Brooklyn had a child, but she gave the baby up. I said, okay, she must not know that the baby is Gio. But hey, y'all, welcome back to another review live for Chesterfield General Hospital, January 8, 2025. Okay, y'all, so first things first, let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Look, I gotta say this because it wasn't confirmed yet. One, if Gio was the child, the baby that Brooklyn gave up, and two, it wasn't confirmed if it was by Dante. Now, lately, they have been talking about Camp and Dante and her share the night together and all this stuff, so we only assuming that it's Gio and it's Dante baby. And I said they finna get ready to bring the drama, y'all, because Sasha and Chase was just talking about, having a baby or whatever. And I think Sasha was the one saying how, nobody expects to really have a baby or the timing of a baby. Then Chase was like, especially on the first time around. I said they finna get ready to have some drama because once he find out, one, that she's been pregnant before, he might be able to, deal with that. But once he find out that it's by Dante, it's gonna be some mess. Not just in reference to that, but it's also the fact that Brooklyn and Lulu don't get along. They don't get along, so it's gonna be some mess. So I guess we about to start right there. Brooklyn and Lois. So basically she was saying how they tried to, take a pregnancy test on Christmas or something like that. And then she just took one and it was both negative. So they started talking about basically if it's karma because she had a baby before and she gave the baby up or whatever. Then Lois was just trying to tell her, that's not how it works and that's not the case or whatever. You was young then. It was a one-time thing and all this stuff. And I said, yep, Dante the father. But yeah, basically Brooklyn felt like it's her fault that she can't conceive now, and Lois was telling her to just go to the doctor, you never know, whatever. Then she started talking about whether or not she should tell Chase the truth. And Lois was trying to tell her, that basically that's her story to tell. And if she decides to tell or not, it's on her or whatever. And Chase basically can't judge her. And I said, yeah, look, that's why Lois been running around here looking funny every time Gio in the room or whatever. And at first, look, we thought that, they was going to make Lois his mama and Sonny his daddy because, he was always Uncle Sonny this, Uncle Sonny that. But I'm assuming that Brooklyn doesn't know that Gio is her son. I'm assuming that Lois kept it a secret or whatever, but we'll see. Sasha and Chase. Basically, she ended up getting sick or whatever, and Chase ends up helping her. And then that's when they started talking about having babies, the fact that they tried to conceive and they've been struggling. I said, why these people, it's certain stuff you shouldn't talk to other people about. I was trying to decide who we was going to talk about next, but all of them kind of combined together, talking about Michael and the fact that he was in a fire and he got burns and stuff. But Sonny, Jason, Michael, so basically they end up getting him out of there or whatever, and they end up taking him to the hospital. And Lucas was the first person there or whatever, and he was just standing there. He was like, it was like he was in shock. He said he already done lost Sam or whatever, so I'm assuming he afraid. And I thought they said you can't work. I wouldn't, because Isaiah ended up telling him basically that he's going to need his help. And I said, didn't Portia just say something about, didn't he just get out of a situation like that? But basically, they end up discovering that basically majority of Michael's body is covered in burns. He ended up waking up, though, but I don't know how long he going to be woke up. Some people are saying that he's not going to die, that they just going to either recast him or they're going to send him out to the, the burn unit or something like that, or facility. But before we continue, I got to mention this because at the end of the episode, it looked like Martin and Nina was talking or whatever. And I think he said something about, look like we got more leverage than you would think or something like that. And I said, is they talking about the fact that Michael just got caught in the fire at Sonny's place? And more than likely it's because of his business. So Michael shouldn't have custody of the kids because of Sonny. And I said, look, Nina, why is she even allowed to speak on Willow's behalf? Carly and Brennan. So basically, he ends up joining her or whatever. They was talking about Jocelyn, the fact that she's so strong. I said, Brennan on hush mode. I want to know what he's going to do with the information he discovered. But yeah, they was talking about Jocelyn, how strong she is. And basically, Carly was saying how she's worried about her. And then the server dude passed by and he was talking about it was a fire or something like that. Carly overheard, so she ends up asking him about it. He ends up telling her what happened. And then she was like, Sonny, she told Brendan that Sonny stayed, at the top floor or whatever. So they end up going to the hospital, and that's when she asked Sonny and Jason what happened. And they end up revealing that Michael was the one that got trapped in the fire. And when they told her, I already knew what was next. I already knew. So they were saying how, it wasn't, more than likely it wasn't an accident. And she was like, of course it wasn't no accident. They was trying to get to Sonny, and Michael ended up paying the price. And I said, Sonny. And Brandon ended up going to Deck's apartment to get Jocelyn or whatever. And speaking of Jocelyn, we're going to say Jocelyn and Trina. So they was talking about Dex, and she was trying to get her to leave or whatever. Jocelyn ended up finding the weapon in Dex's dresser or whatever. And she started putting bullets in it. I said, girl, what is you doing? I said, she finna take everybody out. I said, either she gonna find out that Cyrus did it and try to go after him, or she gonna try to go after Sonny. I don't know. We'll see. So Brandon ends up bringing Jocelyn to the hospital, and that's when Lucas came out, and they was asking him how Michael doing. They ended up revealing, what did they say, 30-40% of his body was covered in burns or whatever? I don't know. But so they started asking him, is he going to make it? Is he going to be all right or whatever? And Lucas kind of avoided the question. And then he was like, he don't know. He basically doesn't know if he going to survive or not. It look like Christina gonna be at the hospital tomorrow with Alexis, and Alexis gonna be telling her something about everybody can see it but you or something like that. I'm assuming it's about Sonny. I'm assuming it gotta be about Sonny, cause she the only one that seemed to think that Sonny's innocent. But speaking of people at the hospital, why is Drew at the hospital? Why is Willow at the hospital? Now I know she his wife or whatever, so of course she gonna show up. But at the same time, the fact that they still can't see, Drew did say something about Michael has a right to be upset and all this stuff. But I said he really wasn't kidding when he told her on today's episode that he was going to come back to Port Charles with her by her side. What he said? United Front or something like that? I said, now it's not the time. Michael should have been handled you. But he been taking the doggone high road. But we're going to come back to these folks. Portia and Isaiah, I think they were just talking about Cyrus. I think she ended up telling him that she made sure that Cyrus not coming back or something like that. I don't know what they talked about after. Portia ended up coming to help Lucas or whatever with Michael. Nina and Curtis. So she was still upset. She came in there to my son. She finna get ready to, well, she said she about to take the jet. I think she wanted to take the company jet first. And Curtis said no. Then she ended up saying, she gonna take her own jet or get her own jet or something like that to go see, to go pick up Willow and Wiley. Tell my son she gonna text me. Tell my son she ain't coming home or whatever. She's staying with Drew. And I said, look, I was kind of hoping that Curtis actually revealed that Drew and Willow was in the hotel rooms together. I was really hoping that. I really was, because they ain't got no doggone shame. But at the same time, they just said how they didn't care if they got caught or not. Well, Willow was trying to tell him again. She over here being protective of him again. Talking about some, you worked so hard and this and that about the campaign, your seat and all this stuff. I don't want you to lose it. All this extra stuff. And he was telling her how he only cares about her and all this stuff. I'm waiting on her to say she loved him too. Did she ever say it? I don't know if it cut off or what. Did she ever say she loved him too? Or she in love with him too or whatever? Look, we got on them already. We got to go back to Nina and Curtis. So basically she was talking about she going there. And he was trying to tell her, Curtis was trying to tell her not to do that, about how it may not work out how she wants it to work out or whatever. Then he started mentioning something about putting it on the newspaper about Willow and Drew. And I said, I don't think Nina was going to go for that anyways, because she already carrying the secret as it is. She already skating on thin ice as it is or whatever. And basically Nina was asking why he would help her, why he would do that or whatever. And he was basically saying, what did he say? He want to get the sheriffs or whatever to see that basically Drew is crooked, he's unreliable and all this stuff, he can't be trusted. And basically he wanted them to side with him or whatever. So Nina ends up saying, as tempting as that is, she don't want to do it for Willow's sake and the fact that something else she said. I don't even remember what else she said. But I think the last thing that happened with Curtis and Nina is he ended up getting a call from Portia. And I said, I thought you ain't supposed to tell these folks business. I thought that was against the law. Look, I thought you could only tell family or something like that, and you still can't tell certain things to them too, right? But yeah, she was saying something about she don't have a lot of time. She just thought he should know that Mike was in the hospital. He was in a fire. He got burns and it's real bad and stuff like that. It looked like Curtis is going to be at the hospital because he's going to be telling Drew to leave. I said, right. I said, look, people are saying they better not show up at the hospital. And where they at the hospital. So I'm assuming, obviously, Curtis told Nina, because she gonna sit up here and use that as her excuse to tell Willow to come home. She gonna call Drew or whatever. He's like, well, we're grown or whatever. What we want to do is what we gonna do and all this stuff. And she was like, put Willow on the phone. I had to tell her about Michael. Michael's in the hospital. Something she said. So she got on the phone or whatever, and she was like, Michael in the hospital. He was burnt in a fire. Something she told her. Look. And Willow actually goes to the hospital. And Drew gonna be there too. So I'm assuming they showed up together. And I said, y'all really helping if Michael went in the doggone hospital? I said, this is crazy. Okay, and so lastly, we got Willow and Drew. Why? These folks in the bed together again. Then she still got the ring on. And I still ain't heard her say she loved him too. She did end up telling him that she said her feelings for him is real or whatever. And she was like, in a perfect world, they'll be together and all this stuff. They over here laying in bed talking or whatever. I'm so worried. I don't want to lose my kids. And Michael this and Michael that. And they still, in a way, blaming Michael. They still blaming him or whatever. And she was like something about Diane and Michael's so powerful. He has all this power and Carly and the Quartermains and all this stuff. If you ain't want this man to take your kids, y'all kids or whatever, you shouldn't have been running around doing stupid stuff. And once again, he still was saying how basically he want to share custody. He don't want to take the kids away from her. But she ain't got the nerve. She ain't got the consideration. I don't even know what I'm looking for. What type of word? What type of word I'm trying to use? I don't know, y'all. But anyway, she's not thinking of him. She's not being considerate of him. Even now, laying in bed with him or whatever. Then somebody said, I better get back to the kids. I better get back in there or whatever. She gonna end up pregnant. Do y'all think she gonna end up pregnant? And then before all that, did she say, how did things get so bad so fast? Cause you doing stupid stuff. You talking to everybody except this man. If you would have talked to him from the get-go, you would know that he didn't actually want to take the kids away from you. But no, you too busy falling up behind Drew like a lost doggone puppy. Well, yeah, they was just laying in bed talking about the fact that Michael trying to take her kids away from her and all this stuff. And she was just crying or whatever about him taking the kids. And I think Drew was like, I won't let him or whatever. I won't let him or whatever. I won't let him win. I said, what you gonna do? But that's it, y'all. Let me know y'all thoughts down below. Stay tuned for the next video. Until next time, this is her girl. Today, be safe.